1,000 days of lessons for discipline, 10,000 days of lessons for mastery. Miyamoto Musashi. Did you think this was going to be easy? Then you're acting like a fool. It's going to take effort. We ask 10 to 15 minutes, that's all, but each and every day learning how these charts work. And I tell people over and over again, do not worry about how long it takes. Why? Because once you master the charts, you will make up for all the time that you ever spent. Now, friends, I have been changing a lot of things up here lately. Been giving you probabilities for our practice trades, been giving you support levels, been giving you resistance levels, been telling you the amount of the expected move. I'm going to start charting that, putting that in the email that we send out every day. So if you're not subscribed at chartingwealth.com, you're missing the easy work. And that is literally the summary of predictions. I'm going to put that in each and every email, each and every day. So if you're not signed up, you need to go to chartingwealth.com, put in your email address, and then watch for those emails each and every day. I encourage you also to listen to the show where I explain things a little more, where you can actually see a chart. But again, the numbers you're going to need, so you don't have to sit there and scribble them all down as you listen, is going to be in that chart. In fact, I hesitate to do this, friends, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here for you. Here it is, right here. You can see there is the summary of predictions for tomorrow. This is based upon the moves today. You'll see the symbol, the direction. You'll also see the percentage of change. You will see the resistance. You will see the support. You will see the buy point, sell point, and the expected moves. So we'll talk about that as we go through the charts, but that will be posted every day in the show notes that we email out to you. So let's look first at the S&P 500 up today, 0.29%. We see an uptrend with signs of consolidation. As we look at the volume, it's slightly decreased, suggesting some weaker momentum down at 2.29 million shares traded. The direction is neutral to slightly bullish, about a 60% probability. Now we see resistance at the $13.25 mark. We are right at the $611.49. So $613.25 is the resistance. We see support there at $605.25. And of course, what are we looking for? Well, a buy point at $613.50 confirms a breakout from current levels. And again, if we have a crash and it moves below $609, that is your potential for shorts. About 5-point potential for shorts, 3-point potential for up moves to the next level of resistance on the up move. So now when I say points, remember points mean dollars. It's just sort of market talk. Don't let that fool you, just like people saying, I'm going short, I'm going long. Long means you're buying the stock and riding it up. Short means you're selling the stock, someone else's stock, you're letting it go down, buying it back cheaper and returning it. That's the way it used to work in the past. Nowadays, what most people do is do options. And if you don't know how to trade options, how to practice trade options, hey, become a Patreon member. You'll get two things. First thing is our book. The second thing is our 3-part series, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. And you can start practice trading options right away and use the information from the show each and every day to help you practice trade options on the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, 20-year bonds, gold, and the Bitcoin ETF that we track. Let's move on to the NASDAQ 100. What do we see going on with the NASDAQ today? It was up 0.23%. You can see we're right there where the high was, going all the way back to December the 16th, where we pushed up to last week. So as we look at where things are, we see strong uptrend, but near key resistance levels. So we're watching that closely. As we look at the candlesticks, we can see that they're extended, showing strength, but also some overbought conditions. 1.42 million shares shaded. That's stable, but not confirming a strong breakout. Now we look at the direction. It's neutral to slightly bullish, about a 55% probability. I don't like 55 or 60%. I like 75, 80% probabilities, but nonetheless, giving you where we see things. Resistance is at $542.36. Remember, it closed today at $539.37. That's $539.37. Support is at $529.72. We see the buy point is above $540 for continuation. And the sell point, things drop below $535. You can expect them to be moving. You can expect the price to be moving down more strongly. Expected up movement, $4. Down movement, $6, or 4 and 6 points. That is where we are on the NASDAQ 100. Let's move on to 20-year U.S. government bonds. Now, as we look, you can see how they, down in the morning, tracking further up with increasing volume in the afternoon. You can see that the Tuesday, the first day of the latest 2-day candles, red spinning top. Don't have a lot of volume there, not even up to half, up to the average. And again, just the first day of a shortened trading week, so we will keep an eye on things. We got a little doji sitting there. This is important, though. We see a bearish trend struggling at resistance. We have lower highs forming on our candles. We have the volumes increasing slightly to 1.7 million. As we look at the direction, bearish, about a 70% probability is what we estimate. We see resistance at $88.80. That's $88.80. Remember, we closed today at $88.10. We see support at $87.12. So the buy point is at $89 for a reversal, and the sell point is below $87.50 for a short. Now, when we say short, what do we mean when it comes to jumping in? Yes, you can sure go out and practice trade options, but you can also, in 4 of our 5 ETFs that we track every day, you can go to TBF. This is an TBF, Tango Bravo Foxtrot. It is the 20-year bond short, U.S. government bond 20-year short. It is managed by ProShares. And again, it is something that if you want to go short the market and you don't feel comfortable with options, you want to just practice trade something easy, like doing an inverse fund, I encourage you to give that a try. And of course, when you see things hitting the level, and again, I've explained this for years, when we're looking at shorts and all on these ETFs, I don't switch over to those charts when we're talking about them because it's just too confusing for most people to say, hey, we're going to the short chart now and we switch over. I just always give you the information based on the underlying asset, which here is TLT. But again, remember, inverse funds go in the opposite direction of the master chart. And in this case, that would be TLT. TBF is the inverse. So for every percentage that TLT goes down, TBF goes up. In fact, just to help everybody out, I'm going to put the training we have. I've put it out dozens of times, and I'll put it out again. Inverse funds, how to make money when markets crash. I'm going to put that at the end of today's video. I would encourage you to watch it, encourage you to practice trade inverse funds. If you see an opportunity on TLT, when it turns around and starts to move again below that 87.50, so again, look for that. If it drops down below 87.50, then you may very well want to jump into a short. Then you can switch over to TBF and start to practice trade that. That's just a suggestion if you're interested in, again, learning how to make money when markets crash. It's a good way to practice it. So, again, 70% probability is nicer. That is toward a bearish move. Now, let's go to gold. Gold is, I'm excited about gold because it's still bullish. 75% probability is what we are seeing in continued up movement. Let me tell you, we've got a strong trend, but and it's reaching, however, key levels. We're consolidating near highs. The volume was 471.6 thousand. That's moderate, but not strong enough to confirm a breakout. As we look at the direction, like I said, 75% probability of continued up movement. We see resistance at 73.06. We see support at 265.45. So that's 273.09. I'm sorry for resistance. And 265.45 for support. So the buy point is 271 for continuation. We're currently at 270.70. So again, if tomorrow starts moving up, that might be a very good sign for us. The sell point is below 268 for a pullback. And of course, we see the expected movement here at about 5 points up, 3 points down. Now, lastly, and again, just to see where we are, you can see there on the weekly chart, we're just one day into a shortened trading week. You can see we're not halfway there yet up to the average volume on the 2-day. Nice volume up in the morning, slowed down in the afternoon, but up 1.66%. Let's go to HODL. We've been talking about the pushing Bitcoin down here lately, and of course down today 3.30%. As we look at HODL, the VanEck Bitcoin Trust, we see the trend is sideways, lacking direction. The candle small-bodied, indicating low volatility. Volume, 87.51 thousand. We've got low momentum there. We look at the direction. It's neutral to slightly bearish, 55% probability of bearish continued downward movement, just a little over half. We see resistance at $28.28. We see support at $26.47. So the buy point would be $27 or so for a breakout if you see things turning around and the steam being put onto Bitcoin. Not all that likely, though. The sell point, 26.5 for a short. The expected movement, 1.5 to minus 2 points. That is where we are, my friends, as we finish up the markets today. I hope you appreciate some of these changes that we're trying to institute. I'm just trying to think of everything I can to make this easier, more helpful, more user-friendly. I would so much appreciate your feedback. Is this the kind of stuff that you find helpful? Is this what you want more of? Or do you like the way that I've been doing it before without giving you specific numbers? I'm just trying to help in every way possible. As you guys know, I do this for free because I like it, because I like sharing market knowledge. Of course, if you do appreciate what we do, you can help underwrite the cost of the channel by becoming a Patreon member, but you don't have to do that. This is about you learning. And of course, the things you tend to support tend to stay around. And we've been around now almost 10 years, and we appreciate all of our Patreon members. We appreciate you. And again, friends, I encourage you every day. I always start off with a quote that's designed to motivate you and keep you doing this. There's so many things going on in your life, so many things pulling you each and every direction, but you become what you do every day. And if you want to be a real investor, a real trader, a real stock market maven, someone who can read a chart and knows what the hell's going on in the world, in stocks, in bonds, in gold, in Bitcoin, in commodities, in whatever it might be that you're interested in, world currencies. We track those, charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies once a week for you too. If you want to become an expert in these areas, you just got to spend the time. You got to get that mileage. And I encourage you on that each and every day. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.